Hello there. My name is Jeff, and I'm here to share about my journey dealing with epilepsy, how I had a bunch of seizures, how I was on medication a bunch, and what has worked for me to not be on medication. It's been a long journey, yes. Oh, by the way, I'm not an expert or a doctor. I just want to share or inspire other people who have epilepsy because they may feel like, oh, yeah, you have this forever. You have this forever. You got to take these pills forever. But for me, it hasn't been the case. And I know other people who live seizure free without being on medication. They just need to sort their life out in various ways. Okay, cool. So, yeah, sure. Let me share about my journey. I first started having seizures when I was 20 years old. I passed out on my dad while I was driving. We were turning around, and I had a huge grand mal seizure, and I dislocated my shoulder and woke up in an ambulance. Had no idea what was going on. I had a huge headache. It felt like I'd just been beaten up, blacked out, and you kind of don't feel good for like a week after that. You're not normal. And a few days later, I had another seizure, dislocated my shoulder again, got put on medication. The medication was not fun. So I was taking pain pills for my shoulder and medication, and I was kind of going crazy with the pain pills and the seizure medication. I could just feel like so angry and not myself, and it was a super dark place. And so my shoulder was healing. They were like, okay, you have epilepsy. This activated because you were drinking. So I was drinking a lot the night before, and I was super unhealthy with smoking cigs, drinking energy drinks, fast food. Yeah, not the greatest. So the body was like, let's start some healing journey. And yeah, I hated taking the medication. I felt horrible. So I stopped taking it. I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need that. I'm fine. I'm good. No, I needed it. I was asleep, had a third seizure, completely shattered my shoulder, and I needed about 2 years to do a push-up again. It was pretty bad. Yeah. So, yeah, after I destroyed my shoulder, the doctors told me, Jeff, you better take your medication. I know you don't like it, but you're probably never going to use your arm again if you have another seizure. So I'm like, okay, I'd rather feel really sleepy and crappy all the time than never move my arm again. And they're like, yeah, look, you're causing yourself brain damage. Like, stay on the medication. So for years, I lived with this fear of destroying my shoulder. So I stayed on medication that had me feeling not good. I couldn't feel the highs and the lows. And tons of people who are on medication, bipolar, depression, they give it to you and you feel dull, and they don't give you a remedy for getting off of it. Oh yeah, you're depressed. Let's give you this. Oh, you have seizures. Let's give you this. We're not going to tell you why you're having seizures because we don't know. It's in your DNA. Oh, we're not going to tell you how to get off of the medication or to heal your underlying health problems. And the seizures are just, a symptom of your unhealthiness and toxicity. That's what I feel. I'm not an expert. Anyways, I was having lots of seizures. I stayed on medication for a number of years. And I went to Costa Rica, and I met someone who was on the same medication as me before. She got off of it. She was feeling amazing. And she said mostly it was stress that was causing all her seizures. And I was so inspired, and I learned about raw food eating, yoga, and juicing. But I didn't know so much, but I knew about it, and I was like going for that to heal my body. And yeah, I got off the medication for 9 months, and I was using hemp oil, like marijuana oil, because I heard that was amazing as well, and there's a lot of great studies for that. So people can treat it that way. That's a good option to try. And yeah, so then I moved back to the United States. Lo and behold, I had another seizure. And I messed up my shoulder again to where it was like in pain for a month. I had a bunch of EEGs. So during this whole time, I'm feeling awful. Whenever a seizure happens, it's just, you feel terrible. My whole family's freaking out. They don't know what to do. They don't want to see me on the medication. They want to see me healthy and free. So they're all suffering around me. And it was just a huge mess and a huge burden on my poor family. Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, yeah, so I got the EEG nodes placed in my head, walked around with like wires and a kit for a few days. And I was like, yeah, I'm taking the marijuana oil. Like, I didn't have a seizure in Costa Rica. And the doctor's like, about to cry, Jeff, like, I'm sorry, like, you're still, it's protecting you a little bit, but you're so close to having a seizure, like, you need to go back on the meds. I'm like, just crushed. You having your freedom restricted, getting the freedom. No, you're back on the meds. It was awful. It was so bad. But I also got another job in Costa Rica. So I was like, okay, the universe slaps me in the face and then like holds me, caresses me. Okay, I get a job in Costa Rica, back on the meds. Whatever, let's do it. So yeah, I did that. Costa Rica, back on the meds for a few years, teaching English. Lived in Peru on the meds. And eventually getting to where I am now, Thailand, where I met a bunch of cool people who told me about mucus-free living and cleaning the body. So here are the things that I've done. Hence, after being on medication and while I was on medication. So what I think, if someone's struggling with epilepsy, try it out. You are in unknown waters. You need to find out what's good for you, what doesn't work, what is triggering your seizures. You are an experiment. You need to find a way to move the energy that's building up, that you're suppressing, shake it out, and find how to come to balance, because you are out of balance for whatever reason. Okay, what I've done. I've done heavy metal detoxes. So according to a lot of studies, whatever, there's heavy metals. We're constantly picking up heavy metals from our water, injections. All this stuff has tons of heavy metals, and it goes in our brain, and it messes people up. And people with neurological sensitivity get even more messed up. But there's a good thing. You can detox it out with various ways. Some people say all these solutions, but what I did was make a cilantro tincture. I'll explain that later. But I took that with bentonite tincture right when I woke up, dry fasted, so it really works. And then take some bentonite clay, because the cilantro tincture will loosen all the heavy metals in the brain and the body, and it'll just be like, whoa, and the body will either flush some of it or grab it again. So to bind with those heavy metals, you got to use bentonite clay. So take like a little teaspoon and then you flush it out with your doo-doo. Speaking of doo-doo, I've done lots of enemas. I learned how to do it in Costa Rica, and this health nut was like, yeah, man, enemas are cool. I'm like, okay, yeah, toxicity. Not knowing that, man, there's a lot of things we store in our body for many years, and it's good to get it out. And especially when you're doing cleansing, like juice cleansing. So I did a bunch of juice cleanses to let my body heal, and I think that has supported me during the process. Oh, and by the way, the getting off medication thing, wow, that is not easy. So anyone who wants to sign up, take the plunge into the unknown of getting off of medication, of leaving the old world of sadness, suppression, complacency behind. Man, it is an adventure with super highs and super lows. Yeah. So I started getting off my medication. Sorry, this is all over the place. Okay, we'll bring it back. I started getting off my medication in October 2021. And I took 4 pills a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. So I slowly went down by like half a pill every few weeks, or like half a pill a week. Half a pill a week until over 8 weeks. And during that time, I was juicing. I was drinking tons of tinctures. I started taking tinctures for spasm calms when I was like feeling nervous. I was going to have a seizure. Yeah. And what happened while I was detoxing and not taking medication? I got wounds all over my legs and just medication, the deposits of the drugs were just coming out of my legs, just oozing, and then be like, oh my God, why is this happening? People like, yo, Jeff, you got to visit a doctor. You're going to lose your legs. You're going to die. You're infected. I'm like, relax. And I had coaches too. I was like, okay, relax. This is just toxicity leaving the body, the mucus and the old drugs. And for 2 months, I was just draining these nasty sores. Yeah. And I didn't die. And it wasn't infected. It was just nastiness leaving out. And I didn't take any stuff for that. Yay. And that healed. Anyways. More tips. Trauma release exercises. Shaking. Someone's having seizures. They got to shake it out. They got to move the energy. Jump around, dance, scream, laugh, make yourself laugh. Make yourself cry. You got to express. You're not expressing. The seizures are going to express you. Okay. Meditation is shown to heal the brain and all the good things that we've heard a million times. Go for it. Plant medicines. I don't know if I can recommend plant medicines to anyone because it's a double-edged sword. Because you can have great experiences, mind-blowing, life-changing, or very confusing, disturbing, dark. But for me, I have used plant medicines in the pursuit of healing my brain, healing my body, becoming a better person, enjoying life. And that has worked for me many times and also left me really messed up before. But alas, you don't need to take full power psychedelics if you're struggling with epilepsy, because that might bring out a trigger. That might trigger a seizure. So what would be good is microdose maybe. There are all these studies that are coming out, and if it's good for you, they probably don't want you to do it. That's kind of the theme. Eating all these toxic, nasty foods and stimulants might have you having seizures. It's okay, keep doing that. Let's give you some medication to suppress the seizures, and then you'll still feel all of it. Yeah. Okay, eating mucus-free. What is mucus? I'm not the expert on mucus. You could see Arnold Ehret, the mucusless diet healing system. This awesome dude, Arnold Ehret, he was helping people with cancer, all these horrible diseases, giving them a raw food diet and having them fast and finding that their body heals. The body is a healing machine. It heals itself. If you don't keep obstructing it with nastiness, it will heal. If you give the body time to rest with drinking a juice for breakfast, it'll heal. You will heal. I'm pretty sure it's done amazing things for me. People go, the vegans, they're gonna wither away. Man, I have more energy when I'm eating the least than when I have a decent meal. And man, like my face is so much thinner. I was just totally inflamed when I was taking the medication and all this other stuff. Okay. Yes, Arnold Era, eating mucus free. Check it out. So this is the path that I took with treating my seizures. Eating mucus free, drinking juice. I drink juice. I'm not saying this is the way, but this is what I do, and I'm not having seizures. So I'm happy about that. I drink juice for breakfast. I have some tea because I love tea. I would love to give it up. That's because caffeine is not good. Not good for people with epilepsy, not good for people in general, but that's where I'm at right now. And sometimes juice for lunch, yeah. And then I have some dinner. And through the whole morning, I'm spitting out nastiness. I'm removing toxicity. I'm taking Triphala to get the nastiness out. I'm giving my body time to heal, and for the first part, I'm not even drinking. I'm dry fasting, which gives the kidneys the time to break so they can filter, and this is what I've experienced, and it's great. Okay, teas and tinctures, herbal. If someone's having lots of seizures, take herbal teas, like really strong herbal tea. Take tinctures. Yes. So I was talking about mucus free. I took the path of mucus free. Some people take the path of ketosis, eating the complete opposite. Super fatty, protein, suppress all the symptoms. It works the same as medication. You're suppressing your body with all the fat. It works. It's great. It's a different path. Go for it. If that's what, because that's like really, like the mucusless diet healing system, this is like fringe. They don't want you to know about it. Gerson therapy, juicing in the United States to cure cancer, it is banned. It's illegal to cure cancer with juicing. That's insane. But no, you can eat the fattiest foods and just suppress symptoms. It works. Okay, I'm not really sure about tobacco. A lot of people would say it's really bad for people with seizures. I think smoking cigarettes with the thousands of chemicals inside of it is not the best, and would if you're gonna use tobacco, I would say use like pure tobacco. But I think that I think maybe it could be helpful in the short term to balance, regulate the moods, because if someone keeps building with epilepsy and they're just building energy they can't release, they don't know how to release, a cigarette is going to help them out to calm down. Just like some alcohol, like a little bit would help someone calm down if they keep building up, because the stress is going to bring out a seizure more than anything. Okay, sauna. Sauna is good for getting all the heavy metals out. This is what I've been doing a lot of since I got off my medication. Lots of massage, move the energy, spread out the energy for these people. And I don't think city life is good for people with neurological problems due to all the electricity, all the movement, instability. People with neurological problems, I really think you got to connect with nature, be in the water, relax, breathe, shake it out, move, yoga, meditate, all the things. So this is a little sample of my life. I don't always follow these rules, but I'm also not having seizures anymore, which, lends me to believe, wow, I'm on the way to living a normal life. And you know what? I don't want to change. I love drinking juice in the mornings. I love eating fruits. I am very happy with the way I do things right now in many ways. And I'm happy and thankful to not have seizures anymore. Because, man, if I'm having seizures, it doesn't matter if I'm living in a palace and I have millions of dollars. It would just ruin it all if I'm having seizures. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. And send this to anyone who has seizures and is very confused. And feel free to reach out. I'm here. I'm not an expert, but I know a lot of people who have struggled with this stuff, and I've seen a lot of people get better, myself included. Okay, love you, universe. Until the next one.